Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Got a Case of Wanderlust podcast. I'm with Nicole Figura, and she is a solo female budget traveler originally from the Philippines, but has also lived in Saudi Arabia and Canada. Nicole has traversed big cities from New York to London to villages throughout Southeast Asia and is currently working in food marketing. So I'm very excited to learn all about her travel experiences today. So, with that, welcome to the show, Nicole.
I am so excited to be here. Hi, Lydia. Hi, everyone listening.
Hello, yay. So I'm excited to talk too because, first of all, you're a big foodie. We're definitely going to dive into that. But you also have various living abroad experiences. But before all that, I always like to ask, what sparked your wanderlust?
What sparked my wanderlust? I really think it's just all my travels when I was a kid. Because whenever I remember all the childhood memories, me and my sister would always just talk about when we went to Hong Kong, like when we went to Saudi Arabia. So I feel like because of that, like I was able to like see other cultures, experience different food, which you said we'll talk about. And yeah, that really sparked it all. And I'm like, there's a big world out there that I just really want to see. And there's a lot of people that I still have to meet. So,
Yes, absolutely. And so, going back to when you were younger, like growing up, you're originally from the Philippines. So, how much did the Philippines kind of shape your perspectives on life and growing up in that culture? Yeah, can you share any of that?
yes, of course. Well, growing up in the Philippines was very fun. People are very friendly, and I feel like people always like say like we always smile. We're very hospitable, so I feel like that really shaped who I am as a person. It's also very like in comparison to where I live now in Canada, it's more traditional, and since we're a Catholic country, there's certain like traditions that I may or may not hold anymore, but I still like take away all those values and lessons to who I am now. So I'm still very grateful and I'm very proud to be Filipino. I always bring it up when I can. Who doesn't? And yeah, we have the best food. Well, arguably. So
I absolutely love just that you're passionate about your identity because I think not everyone has that. So to say that is just something like so special because, yeah, I could relate as now I'm very proud to be like a Chinese American, but growing up it wasn't always like that. So I know it takes a journey and whatnot, but love the representation. But yeah, after the Philippines, you have lived abroad in three different countries. So as someone like personally, I recently moved abroad. I know what a journey the whole process of navigating foreign places can be like. So my question is, what has each country taught you?
what each country has taught me. So I've lived in Saudi Arabia and currently Canada. Saudi Arabia was actually pretty fun. They're definitely way more traditional than Philippines, but I heard not anymore. The last time I was there was like a long way back, maybe like 2010. So I know a lot of things have changed, but my fondest memory is really just shopping in Saudi Arabia and eating shawarma. It's really good. I
Amazing.
yeah, when I think Saudi Arabia, I think shawarma, and nothing. I haven't found any shawarma place anywhere in the world that matches the flavor and the quality that I've had there. Even though what I've had there is probably like on the side of the street or something. But Canada, I love Canada with all my heart. I just feel like how it shaped me is I'm very more independent and I have a big sense of like freedom and just like I'm able to do whatever I want, stand up for myself and yeah, try new things. Like I never thought I would be traveling on my own. And I feel like I learned that independence from like moving to Canada and just like learning how to be on my own and like navigating stuff by myself.
Mm. And so, prior to moving abroad, did you experience solo travel, like just vacationing on your own? You just,
Oh,
no.
no, I did not. I no, when I my first solo travel is literally like during university. And I was like, oh my, like I was freaking out. I was like, this is crazy. Like my parents were like, are you sure about this? Like, is it even safe? But I feel like once you get past that first travel, you're like, okay, where are we going next?
Absolutely. Yeah, I feel like that's the beautiful thing about solo travels. You just have to do it once, really, and you realize how comfortable it actually
Yeah,
is and how much more simple it is.
yeah,
Rather, like, I think there's a lot of misconceptions about all the logistics that go into solo travel, but it really is like as simple as making the first move, booking the ticket, whatnot.
yeah, and just get to do what you want because the only person in your party is yourself. So if you choose just to stay in your hotel, sure, go ahead. But like, there's a whole world out there that you can just walk around, take the bus and train in. But yeah.
Yes, exactly. And so, do you have any budget travel tips or hacks that you would like to share? Like, what are the top kind of rules that you follow to be able to afford traveling so much?
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't say I have a budgeting like hack or anything, but I really prioritize like travel because like I know people have their own like things that they're willing to spend money on. Like I have friends who are into designer stuff, not for me, like friends who would rather buy like a house or rent somewhere, and that's not for me. So my choice of thing to purchase is like travel. I always make it a goal to like go somewhere nationally and internationally, like each every year. So that's just like super fun for me. And I guess it's more like also like prioritizing what do you want to spend more on? Do you want to spend more on your accommodation or would you rather spend more on your flight? Maybe you want to take like a business class or a first class, or do you want to put a lot of your money with the experience itself? So that's what I do. I usually just buy whatever is like the cheapest flight, the cheapest like hotel as long as I'm safe and it's clean, and then spend a lot of my money on like food and experiences. So that's it. And then recently, I actually signed up for the not sponsored, but Amex if it can sponsor me, Amex Cobalt card. I haven't used the benefits yet, but I'm really excited. I heard it's really good for travel. So
Ooh, yes, having travel credit cards is definitely a hack. And I totally agree, though. At the end of the day, it's really about prioritizing, knowing what you want to invest in, what you want to maybe not invest so much in just because it's not as important to your travel experience. So as far as traveling throughout Southeast Asia, it's notoriously known as a very cheap part of the world. So do you have any, I guess, tips for a solo female travelers specifically planning a trip to Southeast Asia?
yeah. So when I went to Southeast Asia, I went to 6 countries: Singapore, Malaysia, Indonesia, and Bali. Thailand, Vietnam, and the Philippines. They're all, like you said, like basically very cheap, especially in comparison to like North American prices and the Canadian prices. But I would say out of those, Bali and Singapore actually were not that cheap. Like especially Singapore, like I think the conversion was like almost 1 to 1. So I feel like yeah, there's a misconception that everything's cheap, but it's not. Like there's certain countries that definitely like do better in their economy. So Singapore is like one of them, and it was very expensive actually. Like I could only book like this pod hotel or something, but I was still having fun because I just focus on the experience. And yeah, I feel like Bali because there's a lot of like tourists these days. Their prices are definitely way more in comparison to like the other countries that I've been.
Mm. And do you think that's just because they're more touristed, or do you think their economy is just in general stronger, less reliant on tourism?
I have no idea. I feel like I personally think it's because of the tourism. Because when I'm like moved to the upper like side of Bali, I noticed the price were a bit cheaper. So I think it's really just in that central because that's where we were staying. I was staying, so yeah. I noticed that the prices was almost like 1 to 1, which is crazy to me in Indonesia.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, I think it's like because I could relate. When I was in Mexico, I thought the prices would be much cheaper, but when I went to the more touristed areas, it was not significantly cheaper. It was cheaper, but like not as much as you would expect. So I think maybe moving away from the tourist hotspots is a way to get that more budget friendly. um, experience that you want.
I agree. And like, I mean, it makes sense that they like charge a bit more now, especially if there's like a lot more foot traffic in their local area. But yeah, I feel like people underestimate the not so known areas. So I feel like it's always worth to like check it out. And then honestly, at the end of the day, they probably look similar. It's just different like branding and like reputation.
Mm. Exactly. Yeah, I'm a huge fan of visiting like lesser known spots. And another way to experience like the lesser known side of travel is to go to local food spots. So as a foodie, like how do you go about finding food spots, finding where to eat when you travel?
Yeah, so I always always go to YouTube actually. I like watch multiple like vlogs and I'm like, wait, that looks really good. Um and yeah, that's really it. I also go to Thatch, which is like I don't know if we've already talked about it in this podcast, but it's this platform where you can see like a bunch of like guides, itineraries, and recommendations. So those are like my two go-tos. And AI is here now. So lately, I've also been using ChatGPT. Also, but a good thing to like flag with ChatGPT is it's not always like relevant because like sometimes it would list or give me a spot and then I would Google it and it's like permanently closed or like temporarily closed. So I still feel like grab like a couple of recommendations and then do your own research to see if it still resonates with you.
Yeah, I have found, not with ChatGPT specifically, but on Google, if you look on Google Maps, it will say a place exists and it really doesn't, or the hours are wrong, especially if you go to countries that are not in like the Western world. Yeah, it's pretty annoying, but that's I think in those cases, it's more important to like ask the locals and really get a feeling once you're there.
Yeah, like when oh my gosh, when I went to Bangkok, there was a whole crocodile, and that literally scared and spooked me. First off, because I'm actually scared of crocodiles, and then just second, just seeing a person like chop it up and grill it and eat it right in front of me was like honestly traumatizing.
Wait, you mean it was whole? Like you could like
It
the
would
body
yes,
was just intact
yes,
still.
it was like in one of those night markets, like a little stall was like everything was cute in the beginning, and then I get to the middle. I was like, is that like I'm wearing my glasses and I'm like, is that a crocodile? And it's a whole crocodile, like from head to
No
tail,
way.
hanging on the yeah on a hook on the top of the stall. Like it's a fruit stand stall, but for crocodiles. And then like most of the mid part is already gone, because like he's chopping things up, and then he's just cooking it. Like it looks already like I don't know if it's already cooked because the meat's white, and I don't really know what the meat of the
But
crocodile looks.
it but it was in the shape like you could tell of a
Yes,
crocodile.
but I could see the head, which is very
Oh.
no one's eating the head and the tail, but like the middle is like almost gone, and I'm like, that's actually traumatizing.
Yeah, I think I'd be traumatized too as someone who is plant-based. Like I try to avoid eating meats, like especially if I don't know the source. Like that's very questionable.
Oh yeah, and I feel like it's also like the easiest way to get food poisoning too. So like
True.
it's a good point. Like when I try new things, especially like as much as possible, if I can take away the meat or just not eat it, then I'll be fine.
Yeah. And do you find that being vegetarian, if you were vegetarian, would be easy in those kind of countries? Like, are there other kind of options?
Oh, definitely not. I feel like there's definitely options to go to when you're a vegetarian, but I don't think it's gonna be that easy because like just speaking from the Filipino culture, a lot of our dishes have like a type of meat or meat product in it. Um, so yeah, especially if you actually don't like it when you're, because me, I love meat, but like there's days where I don't want to eat meat, but I'm not to the same level where I don't want it to be cooked. But like it can still be cooked in the same dish. I'll just probably will put it aside and not eat
Mm,
it. If you're good with that, then I think you'll survive.
okay.
But if not, then I think you'll have to like do your own research and see what your options are.
What are some of your favorite foods you've had in Southeast Asia?
Oh my
I guess
gosh.
you could break it down by country because it's kind of hard to just do an aggregate of everything.
You're so right. Okay, Singapore. Singapore. Okay, I'll probably sabotage this the name, but this is at the Whampoa Hawker Food Center or something. So if you're ever in Singapore, find this stall called Heng Whampoa Teochew Lor Meat. I know it's a
What a
mouthful.
name.
No, I know it's a buckle, and Lydia will link it down below in the show
Yes.
notes. So don't worry about having to listen to my voice say it again. But it's the best lor meat I've ever had. I've never even had lor meat before. I didn't know what it was. It just to me looked good, and I was looking for something hearty. And it was actually the best thing I put in my mouth ever in Singapore.
Wow.
So good.
And these
Honestly,
hawker stalls, they're what you
uh,
call like just food stands. It's in like a food market kind of setting.
yes. Oh my God, they're the best. They're the best thing on earth. Honestly, best invention. Every country needs one because all the food's cheap. We can like you have so many options just in that one spot, and I just love like seeing people eat it too because then you get to see like recommendations just by like seeing what are people eating, where are they going. So it's a pretty fun, very fun experience. Yeah.
And is this specific to Singapore, these hawker stalls, or like in other Asian countries, can you find the same thing?
I think I saw some in Malaysia, but I feel like they're primarily famous in Singapore.
Okay.
I have not seen like a full blown hawker center in like Bangkok or Vietnam, but I feel like in general, like the Southeast Asian people eat a lot outside. So like Bangkok and Vietnam has like those street dining, which is very cool. Um, yeah.
Yeah, let's talk about street food. So, if you had to choose which country that you've traveled to has the best street food.
Oh, best street food. Honestly, let me think. I have to pick very, very carefully.
This is just your personal opinion. You don't you're not like
Yeah. Oh
saying a
no,
definitive this is like the best, you know? No pressure.
sure. I just have a lot of favorites, and
Okay.
I'm like, I have to actually decide. This is like, it's like when you get asked who your favorite sibling or parent is.
Okay, I'll ask like for me personally. I'm a big carb girl, and I know that sounds very general, but like it's really just anything that has been made with flour. So bread, noodles, rice, and some kind of dumplings, empanadas, like those kind of things, or desserts. Like if I'm a carb lover, like which country's the best for street food?
I'd actually say Singapore because they have multiple like, cuisines in there,
Mm,
and like you can actually just pick whatever you want. Cause
mm,
okay, I'll break down what each country I think is best for in their type of food. Okay, so Singapore, any cuisine you can think of, they probably have it in their hawker centers. And it's probably cheap too. So for if you're looking for general like carbs or anything, guaranteed you'll find something in Singapore. And I did notice that there's a lot of like bakeries and stuff, so that's pretty cool too. Bangkok is really good for everything spicy. What? Somehow they just put spice in everything. So if you love spice, please go to Bangkok. I remember I loved tom yums, but this one place I asked for like the lowest spice level. I was still crying and I wish I could not. I tried to eat it like three spoons in. I was like, I don't think I can do this. Like, sure. And then five spoons in, and I'm like, I actually have a tummy ache. I'm gonna stop going because this is too spicy, and I can't believe that's their mildest one. Oh, Indonesia is really good for their grilled everything. Everything grilled, like grilled seafood or like satays, I think is what they're called. So like beef, chicken, lamb, everything you can think of. So yummy. And they always, I feel like most of the time they come with like a side of veggies too. So it's a good balanced meal, and then with rice on the side as well. So that's really up my alley. Um, Vietnam. Vietnam, of course. I just have to say pho. Like everywhere I go, like everywhere I turn my head to, there's a pho place, and I've tried multiple ones. They're all actually really really good, and just the whole vibe of like eating it on the outside on the side of the street and just watch like motorcycles drive around is a pretty cool experience. I felt like I was in a simulation. Um, where else?
What
Um,
about the Philippines?
yeah, I was gonna say that's a very hard question. Um, Philippines was good. There's a lot of good things in the Philippines. Philippines, I would say if you like rice, like every dish that we have needs to be eaten with rice. Like it's actually not possible just to eat we call it ulam. Like you just can't eat the main dish. You need to have a rice in it, whether it's soup, whether it's like stir fry or whatever it is. Really have to just do it. But my favorite one is sinigang. So if anyone wants to try Filipino food, sinigang is really good. Oh, and mang inasal. Not mang inasal specifically the brand, but like you can just eat chicken inasal, which is like this grilled chicken basted in like calamansi or lemon and soy sauce, and it's just the best thing on earth. That paired with sinigang is the best. Um, okay, I have to go back to Malaysia because Malaysia is actually one of my favorites, but I can't seem to remember what I ate there.
I know Malaysia is like a mix of kind of
Yeah,
a fusion of the countries it's nearby, which is Indonesia, Thailand, and Singapore. Is that correct?
yeah, that's correct. Actually, I do have an answer. If you like curry based food, they're really good. They're really good with it. Like I know there's multiple. I can't even recall one dish name, but all their like curry based dishes are actually really really delicious.
Okay, but not as spicy as Thailand.
Not as spicy as Thailand. Yeah, like oh my god, no, I'm actually yeah. Thailand I think just traumatizes me with the crocodile. I think
Calling
yeah,
all spice lovers to
I
Thailand.
know. Yeah, so but spice lovers and crocodile lovers, please be my guest.
Noted. And then moving into our rapid fire round, we could do a rapid fire round with food actually, before the main rapid fire. So the first would be if you could pick one dish to have before you die. I love asking this question what, to my friends. What would it be?
Um, sorry, it has to be my Filipino inasal with a side of rice and soy sauce and vinegar specifically. This is all like it needs to be there, like all the components and sinigang on the side. That's
Mm,
all I'm like take me after this.
yes, comfort food.
Yeah.
And then what is one food that you've had during your travels that you don't think you could cook yourself?
Ooh, I don't think I can ever cook a good pho. PBH. Like let's be honest. I feel it looks easy, but I know it's all about the broth, and I just don't have the patience to simmer like bones for like a couple.
Mm,
And I would just rather go to a stall in Vietnam and get my night's full.
that's an interesting answer because it does seem like it's such a simple dish, but
Yeah.
a lot more goes into it than you think.
Yes, like I googled like I would because like sometimes when I really like something I try to cook it on my own and I try googling how to make pho. Like you can do it. It's just a long time and I don't have like patience for that. If I'm gonna eat, I need to eat like within 1 to 2 hours of when I'm making it. That's it.
I feel you. That is why I cannot bake bread, even though bread is one of my favorite foods. I mean,
Yeah.
anyone who knows me knows like I'm addicted to bread, but I have never made it successfully because I will not let it sit there in the fridge for 24 hours. Like when I want my bread, like come on, let give it to me.
Yeah. Now when it's warm very nice. But still can get
Exactly.
it.
Exactly. Third rapid fire question would be, what is one food you will never try again?
Oh gosh. One food I'll never try again. Um, is this like in my Southeast travels? Honestly,
You could choose whatever comes to mind.
I don't think I'll eat balut again. Like, I feel like as a Filipino, it's kind of embarrassing, but I just can't eat this. Balut is basically this fertilized duck egg where it's, I think, boiled. It already has a chick in it. It's actually really delicious, the soup and the other components, but just seeing the baby chick in there is just
Oh my god.
bad. And like, it's a lot of texture, like fighting textures in your mouth.
So,
Like,
balut is what you call the egg.
yeah, it's called, yeah, the egg is called balut. And
Ah.
then, yeah, like literally each bite, you're like, oh my God, is it the beak? Is this call I'm doing? Like, it's a lot of textures that you have to go through. So I probably won't eat that again.
Dang. I've never heard of that, but that is sad.
Yeah, I think it's not just in the Philippines. Like, I think a lot of Southeast Asian countries do it too. I know
Hmm.
Vietnam definitely does it, but I'm not sure about the other ones.
Do you know what is the importance of having like the baby still in there? Like why can't you just have a regular egg?
I have no clue. I
Hmm.
think I've heard one time it's because it's like for people to still find a way to sell like eggs that were fertilized but didn't crack. So like instead of just throwing it away, they cook it and try to sell it so that they still make some money. I think that's one of the reasons why, but maybe there's nutritional value to it. I can't I can't speak to that.
Okay. My last question for this rapid fire food series would be, what is the most unexpected street food you've tried in Southeast Asia specifically?
Oh my gosh. I don't think this is gonna be as rapid
Honestly, I
answer.
just I just improvised this. I didn't know this was gonna happen either.
So good. Um, I don't think I tried a lot of like unexpected things. I feel like as a I'm not a picky eater, but I if I'm trying something new, I might as well make the whole decision process. So I don't have an unexpected. Sorry.
Okay, if not unexpected, then what is the most memorable interaction you had when ordering something? Whether it's like the service people or like someone you met while eating it.
Yeah. Whoa. Okay. I feel like I definitely have. Oh. Okay. It's not even like a grand restaurant place, but we went to this not restaurant, ice cream parlor in Singapore. I think it's actually closed now. I'm so sad because I want to go back if I'm in Singapore. It's called Milo's or something. Um, but the people there was just so nice. The service was so good, and then I think most of the people who are in that store is a lot of like travelers like us. So then these two guys that she approached me and this friend that I met, and they were like, "Wait, do you guys have any recommendations?" So people are just very like friendly, and that just made it a whole nice experience. And like to this day, like I have them on Instagram and they like interact because it's just like good vibes all over. So
Oh.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
people in Singapore were generally pretty friendly and outgoing.
Yes, and I think it like the multicultural part plays good
Mm.
in it because people are more open to like approaching other people versus like some countries I definitely get the get get looks. Even though I'm like Southeast Asian, I feel like they can tell I'm a Filipino Asian. So
Okay. So moving into my actual rapid fire round, number one is, what is a special destination in your heart?
oh, special destination part I think it will actually be Malaysia because of the people.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, what my actually, I have a funny story. Sorry, I'm not making you a rapid question. Very rapid.
It's never
No,
really rapid fire, so you're good.
I love yapping, as you can see. But there's backstories to each. So, Malaysia, I always say, is my most unexpected favorite country because literally when the Uber that I took from the airport to my hotel in Kuala Lumpur, it was this female driver, and she was so nice. And then I learned, so we were chit chatting because the drive was like 45 minutes long. I learned she's also a solo traveler. And then she was like, "Do you want me to like drive you around one of these days and bring you to like food spots?" And that's what she did. So I
Oh,
really made a friend, and I can't believe. Well, at first I thought she was gonna kidnap me, because I was like, "This is too nice to be true." Like something too good to be true. And like as a solo traveler, I still need to be like on my like alarms blaring just in case anything happens. But no, she's the best. I love her.
oh. I love that too. And I think that's the beautiful thing about solo traveling in particular is you really open yourself up to those serendipitous encounters much more easily than if you were with another person. Like you just are more approachable, like people are more willing to help you. And it is always tricky to be trusting if you're a solo female, but I think what solo traveling has taught me is that people have good intentions. At the end of the day, like most people are not out there to cause harm. That's something that the media projects and instills fear into us to make us believe. But yeah, humanity is good at the end of the day. I fully believe that. And beautiful things happen if you allow yourself to trust. And of course, follow your intuition, but also trust.
Yeah, no, that's so right. That's so true. Because, yeah, again, like I came in, I'm like, oh my God, like something definitely is gonna happen, something bad, just because of what the media portrays. But no, nothing bad literally happened. I made multiple friends, and it was the best thing I've ever done in my life. I still, sometimes when I'm sad, I just think about what my trip was like, and then I'm happy again.
I love that. Just reminding yourself the beauty of humanity.
Yeah, I'm like, honestly, if everything sucks, I can just take a plane flight and go back.
Yes. And then secondly, well, I guess this is maybe something we covered, but a different memorable meal you've had when traveling.
Different memorable meal? Okay. I think we should. I don't think it's gonna be. Well, I can say a memorable meal, but it's not a good memorable meal. I went to this what are they called? Beach club in Bali, and then my friends, um, ate oyster, and then they got food poisoning the day after, and then they
Oh,
were fighting for their life in the airport because we were all like flying. So then I'm like, that's a memorable one, but I didn't get Bali belly, so it's good for me, but not for the other people. It was memorable though.
wait, your friends ate it, and you didn't.
I ate oysters as well, like on the same plane.
Oh, but you didn't get it. Huh.
No,
You just have a
yeah,
stronger stomach.
I think so. I think yeah, living in the Philippines for like 6 years, I built for a little
Mm,
bit stronger tummy.
yeah, your microbiome was more primed for that kind of
Yeah, I'll drink
yeah,
water.
food. And then lastly, what is a dream destination for you?
Well, dream destination I think right now is Switzerland. I really want to spend Christmas with my family in Europe this year. So I'm very excited for that. Yeah, just like a nice European Christmas, and like I've seen a couple of videos. They have really good Christmas markets, so I'm excited to see them.
Ooh, cute. Okay, well, with that, thank you so much for your time, Nicole. Again, I really enjoyed our conversation. Love meeting fellow foodies always, so thank you.
Oh my God, no, thank you, Lydia. Thanks for reaching out to me and doing all of this. I'm super, super excited. And I honestly wish you nothing but the best on your career and your podcast. I can't wait for you to pop off, and then I'll be in the first few episodes. Oh my God, look at her.
Thank you so much. That means a lot. Thank you so much for listening to the Gotta Case One of Us podcast. Again, my name is Lydia, and you can find me on social media in the About section of this podcast. Please rate and review if you found value or insight from this, and I hope to see you in the next episode.